Shohei Ohtani is crushing baseballs, everyone knows it, and it comes as no surprise. Just last year, Ohtani hit .304, slugged an American League leading 44 home runs, and put up an MLB leading 1.066 OPS. The fact that he's been able to keep up such amazing production while recovering from elbow surgery and switching leagues is incredible in itself. But Shohei hasn't just kept up his performance as baseball's best overall hitter. He's been better. He's been a lot better. It may seem kind of absurd to claim that a nearly perfect hitter has not only improved but much improved, especially as early as May, but if there's anyone who can do it, it is Ohtani, and I have a wealth of evidence to back up my claim. This video is going to be pretty advanced stats heavy, and even if you're not into those, I do urge you to stick around, because it's hard to understand just how on another planet Shohei has been without them. I am going to be introducing quite a few of them, but bear with me, I have a point to prove here. For now though, I'll start with the simple results. Shohei is hitting .361 up to this point, an over 50-point improvement from 2023, with 12 homers, putting him on pace for around the same amount he hit last year. He's also smacked a major league leading 16 doubles, which have helped him with his also major league leading 1.108 OPS, another large improvement. One stat that's only improved a little bit though is Shohei's on-base percentage, a result of a 4 to 5% decrease in walk rate. This may not sound significant, but last year Shohei ranked in the top 2% in the league in walk rate. This year though, just the top 29%. What's also come down however is his strikeout rate. In 2023, Shohei struck out 23.9% of the time, a new career low. This year with a further 5% decrease, he's comfortably below the league average. Very impressive from one of the game's top sluggers. Shohei's higher tendency to put the ball in play this year is an amazing thing. Why? Well, the old adage good things happen when you put the ball in play rings especially true for Ohtani, because barely anyone hits the ball harder or hits it hard more often. Looking at hard hit rate, the percent of balls a player hits over 95 miles per hour off the bat, he's second in the league. Looking at average exit velocity, just Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, and O'Neal Cruz beat Shohei. He chases whiffs and strikes out far less than Cruz and Judge. Not Juan Soto though, who does all three of those harmful things even less than Shohei, and walks far more. It may seem like it's impossible to beat Juan Soto, who this year it seems has been as close to a perfect hitter as one could be. There is one very important thing though that Shohei has over Juan Soto: sweet spot rate, which is the percentage of balls a hitter puts in play with a launch angle between 8 and 32 degrees, which is considered an ideal range. While Soto's otherworldly exit velocities and godlike walk numbers do top Shohei's, absolutely crushing the ball doesn't quite matter as much when you're hitting it either straight into the ground or straight into the air. Already being good at making contact and among the league's very best at making consistent hard contact, hitting the ball with ideal launch angles is where Shohei beats Soto, as Shohei's sweet spot rate comes in a full 12% higher than Juan Soto's and is among the league's very best. Now I'm going to throw another metric at you: barrel rate. Without getting too deep into it, barrel rate combines sweet spot and high exit velocity. When a barrel or ball hit within an ideal launch angle range for an exit velocity of at least 98 miles per hour occurs, great things tend to happen. It makes sense, these are line drives and fly balls that are crushed. Juan Soto produces these ideal batted balls 17% of the time, an elite rate which ranks in the top 3% of all hitters. Shohei though is all the way up at 23%, ranking him first in Major League Baseball. This is a huge reason why his expected stats, which use exit velocity and launch angle to produce expected hit results based on comparable historic ball spin and play, like a .371 expected average and a .741 expected slugging, are just comical and lead baseball by far. They also show that this all isn't just luck. You can look at almost any advanced stat that takes contact quality into account, and he will lead the league by far. Hard hit rate? Check. Barrel rate? Check. The expected stats? Check. Alright, one more advanced stat, don't be mad, it's a good one. xWOBA is a stat which takes pretty much everything you can think of in the player's control and throws it into one expected value. That's going to be contact quality, contact quantity, walks, even speed. You're supposed to look at xWOBA like you do an on-base percentage. If the number you see would be a good OBP, it's a good xWOBA. Shohei's is .497. It leads the league easily. There really is no rival for Ohtani right now, as much as guys like Juan Soto and Marcell Ozuna have tried their very best. This is all supposed to be about comparing Shohei to last year though, so past his plain results, has he been better? Well, one could go on for hours about all these advanced stats and how Ohtani is somehow outperforming everyone else in baseball, and yes, also outperforming the 2023 MVP version of himself. Every single metric I have mentioned in this video, every single one besides walk rate, Shohei has improved over 2023. Many of them dramatically so. It's crazy. It is ridiculous. Spilling out each and every one of these numbers for the next few minutes though is a lot less fun than showing you things like this.
Shotgun!
It sure did. Ohtani is tied for the NL lead in homers with Marcell Ozuna, who only has 5 no-doubters. The Major League leader in homers, Kyle Tucker, who has 13 overall, has only 4 no-doubters. Gunnar Henderson has 12 total, 3 no-doubters. Josh Naylor, the same ratio. At the end of the day, it doesn't mean all that much, but Shohei is just so far ahead of everyone else that even his home runs are just better. They're not worth more runs, but man, are they murdered. He leads the league in no-doubters too, of course, shouldn't surprise you. Ohtani's already hit a 430-foot homer, a 441-foot homer, a 446-foot homer, a 450-foot homer, a 464-foot homer, and multiple more above 420 feet. Shohei is having a season that, if he keeps up, will be brutally difficult for anyone to match for years to come. He's improved at things he was already the very best at last year, and is joining the best at things he didn't used to be quite so good at. Just for good measure too, Shohei is stealing bases at a more efficient rate than he ever has before, going 9 for 10 in steal attempts so far. While the record for most steals by a DH in one season is 45 by Paul Molitor, and Shohei would have to pick it way up to catch that, he's steadily on pace for a number somewhere in the 30s, and could very well beat the second place mark of 31, also set by Paul Molitor, while doing it very efficiently. Ohtani currently sits at 2.8 Fangraphs WAR in 42 games. Let's assume Shohei gets to 155 games, the same amount he played in 2021, and 2 less than his 2022 total. On a 155 game pace, Ohtani is tracking for 10.3 WAR, purely as a DH, 1.4 higher than he put up last year in an MVP season as an elite two-way player. You take a guy like Gunnar Henderson, an elite hitter and defender at the shortstop position, and he still has less F4 than the DH Ohtani. It's going to be really hard for Ohtani to keep up this incredible pace. It's not unlikely he ends up with numbers that resemble last year's, just because of how hard it is to keep up performance as amazing as this. But if he does, we are watching the greatest season by a designated hitter of all time unfold in front of our very eyes. This guy pitches too, by the way.